Welcome to the Echo Tips podcast.
Here's a sneak peek into what we're going to cover in this week's episode of the Echo Tips podcast.
First, what you need to know is that you can now share just about anything with Alexa. A handwritten recipe, a dense PDF doc with legalese, emails, school schedules, instruction manuals. Share it with Alexa. She remembers it, she summarizes it, she analyzes it, and allows you to take quick action. Alexa, am I able to add solar to my house?
According to your HOA rules, you can install solar panels, but they can't be on the front of your house or visible from the street.
Well, hello, and welcome to the Echo Tips podcast. I'm your host, David Ward, an assistive technology instructor and general IT trainer, and it's good to have you all with us, you returning listeners, and you new listeners, it's good to have you as well. Now, for you new listeners, I'll give you a little synopsis of what the show is all really about, this Echo Tips podcast thingy. But first, at a high level, what our subject material for this week is going to be is revisiting what we discussed there at the end of February, where they had a very big Amazon event about the A-Lady of the future. That is A-Lady Plus, so A-L-E-X-A Plus. So that's going to be basically the new AI-infused A-Lady that we were hoping to hear about last fall, but actually got postponed. And they announced there on February the 26th during a kind of you had to follow along like on a live blog. They didn't actually have a stream, although we do have clips from the event we're going to share with you today. I actually dug some of that up. And so I think that'll be a nice, really quick synopsis. It's a recap that I found from Amazon on YouTube that basically does a really nice crash course on some of those features and things announced at that event. So we're going to revisit that in particular today and really what's transpired since then through March. Some articles published by the Washington Post and The Verge on March the 31st about a soft, limited beta rollout to some people here in the U.S., as of March 31st, which was Monday. I wish they had put on April the 1st. That seems probably more appropriate based on all the things that were not included, like A-Lady's coming out to beta. April Fools. It's not really, it's not, anyway, we're going to talk about that later. So get out your box of tissues. There may be some crying involved and the like. So we're going to look at that as well here towards the tail end of the show. What we're really still waiting for, in a kind of a summary of what's not there yet. Anywho, before we get into that though, I'd like to tell our new listeners what the show is all about. Welcome again, you new listeners. We're in our 7th season. We're a weekly podcast, over 340-some episodes, and we cover everything connected with the Amazon Echo A-Lady devices. We've covered skills, games, media playback, playing old-timey radio shows, playing Bible verses on your Echo, using calendar features, home automation, every sorts of demographic usage. I mean, from parents to their children, family-friendly children features and Disney features. Those are really kind of cool. All the way up to caregivers and seniors, maybe even using Echoes in business environments. We've talked a little bit about that as well. So we have a huge back catalog of things. So if you maybe today's topic isn't really something you're interested in, by all means, go back and check out our back catalog. Now, an easy way to do that, I have updated, thanks to one of our listeners pointing it out to me, is I have a blog post on my blog that lists pretty much everything from episode 1 all the way down. I think I updated to episode 343. And so you can find that at our blog at CERT.com. And then you just click on blog, and then it should be pretty much the top blog entry is everything to do with Echo Tips Podcast. And you can just arrow down through that list. You could keyword search that page, whatever you're looking for, and hopefully find something. Now, if not, and I haven't discussed whatever your question is, you new listeners, or you returning listeners, I would love to hear your feedback as well. So that's something you can always reach out to me. Maybe we can make that a future episode, and you can do so at Echo Tips Podcast, all wedged together, no dashes or periods. Echo Tips Podcast at that same domain name, CERT Dr. COT, the CERT, Dr. DOCTOR.com. And so we'd love to hear your feedback. Okay. All right. We're going to press on. Now, I found this great little video that kind of took a lot of clips and things from the event where they had bloggers and they had different people from different media outlets in the room with Panos Panay, who's over the devices division that oversees the A-Lady and the Amazon Echoes and a lot of those devices. Now, this was originally a closed session thing, and I don't even know if there is a full published version of the actual whole event. Probably not, because I heard there were some bugs and things that happened when he asked the A-Lady to do certain things, and it didn't work. You know, the new AI-infused A-Lady didn't exactly work. But this is kind of a distilled version of several clips from that down into some of the core features that they're hoping to come out in this. Now, I wish I could say that in a limited beta rollout, we have most, if even maybe 1/10 of these features. We really don't, based on what I'm reading, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. We'll talk about that later. But to give you a high-level view of what we're talking about, we're going to go to that video here in just a second. First off, this will be included, well, I mean, when it finally rolls out, will be included basically free as a freebie if you are an Amazon Prime member. If you are not an Amazon Prime member, it is going to cost $19.99 a month. That's $19.99 US. There may be some discounted options for that. Sometimes Amazon does that for students or teachers or different people. But that's the basic cost we're going to be looking at. Okay. So without any further ado, let's go to this this video that gives us kind of a real quick rundown and recap from that event on February the 26th.
Hey there.
Every once in a while, a technology comes around and it changes everything. All right, I'm pumped to introduce you to Alexa Plus. This is the next generation of Alexa. She's powered by Gen AI, smarter, conversational, personal, just get stuff done.
I've had a chance to use it for the last several weeks. It is really remarkable in my opinion. I'm not sure there's a company in the world that has a larger AI investment top to bottom than Amazon.
The new Alexa knows almost every instrument in your life. Your schedule, your smart home, your preferences, the devices you're using, a lot of the services you need, and brings them together into what is an incredible symphony. Alexa, I'm in Spring Studios in New York. There's about 250 people with me right now. They're tech reporters, influencers, bloggers. You know, we're here to talk about you.
All right, let's chat about me then.
Alexa, can you remember that Mary likes Greek and Indian food and is a vegetarian, but doesn't like peanut butter?
Sure, I'll remember that for Mary.
Alexa, I want to cook dinner for the family tonight. Do you have any suggestions for me?
How about a chana masala or a spinach dal? They're family friendly and Mary approved.
Smart home has transformed with Alexa Plus. Transformed. Alexa, what happened around my house today? Can you see if anybody walked the dog the last couple of days?
I found a few recordings of someone walking a husky around your house in the last couple of days. The front door and garage cameras captured these events.
First, what you need to know is that you can now share just about anything with Alexa. A handwritten recipe, a dense PDF doc with legalese, emails, school schedules, instruction manuals. Share it with Alexa. She remembers it, she summarizes it, she analyzes it, and allows you to take quick action. Alexa, am I able to add solar to my house?
According to your HOA rules, you can install solar panels, but they can't be on the front of your house or visible from the street.
Today, I'm excited to announce 2 new Alexa Plus features, purpose-built for kids and available through Amazon Kids Plus. Explore with Alexa and Stories with Alexa. Alexa isn't just answering a question or telling a story. She's unlocking their imaginations.
I am 4'3". What animal is tall as me?
You're about the same height as an emperor penguin.
Wow.
She's engaging with them in new ways through natural conversation and rich visuals, and the kids really, really enjoy this.
It is not as easy as taking an LLM and jacking it into the original Alexa. And it's the largest integration of services, agentic capabilities, and LLMs that we know of anywhere. Every interaction with Alexa Plus is deeply grounded. And the goal is to be able to quickly answer customers' questions from any domain. And Alexa Plus already includes hundreds of these specialized experts, and there are so many more to come. On day one, Alexa Plus will already work with literally tens of thousands of other services and devices from our partners, tens of thousands. Alexa, book a table for 4 at noon at the Alderman.
Checking for availability on Open Table. Great news. The Alderman on 48th Street has availability for 4 at noon today. Would you like me to book this reservation for you?
Yes, book it. The second way that we're working with partners is by offering cutting-edge agentic capabilities. This is going to allow Alexa to navigate the internet and a partner's whole website in a truly self-directed way to complete tasks on your behalf. I'm going to show you sort of what the future's in store for this experience with a very basic example, doing grocery shopping from home. Alexa, I need some things from Amazon Fresh.
Sure. Let me know what you need and I'll add it to your cart.
Well, I know we need milk and eggs. Why don't we start with that? Alexa, I need some options for a 5-year-old who's coming over for dinner. We're having company. Friday night.
These pasta options are quick, easy, and typically enjoyed by kids.
Cool, I'm gonna add that one. That's it. Let's wrap it up. I added to my fresh order.
I've added those items to your upcoming order.
It's that easy. You can literally shop for a week's worth of groceries in 2 minutes, standing in your kitchen, stream of consciousness to Alexa. You update it with your voice, update it in touch, get your groceries just right, and you're done.
We're now introducing Alexa.com, where you can do more of the long-form work you need to do. Today, with generative AI and a completely re-architected Alexa, we're moving the world from chatbots to something entirely new. Alexa Plus is that trusted assistant that can help you conduct your life and your home. It's something Amazon's known for, removing complexity for our customers with products that make every single day better and easier. Now, as we look to the future, AI and Alexa will continue to be that red thread, one that weaves across our devices, creating new connected experiences, bringing a little bit of that symphony together, and maybe a touch more harmony into our lives.
Wow, wasn't that some kind of video? I'm telling you, man, they got a lot of cool stuff crammed in there. I think some of the things that I'm most interested in is the ability to send certain documents to it or emails and being able to have it distill information down. The natural speaking, the ability for it to remember maybe my food allergies and things like that with recipes. That could be really cool. And other things like that I think could be really awesome. Maybe some of my personal preferences and things like that. I think that could be really kind of neat. That kind of really customizes it. I'm looking forward to the improved AI voice, hopefully, as well. Although I don't think that was really discussed too much during the event, but I would imagine we'll be seeing that. It was announced at the previous event more than a year and a half, I think, like earlier. But anywho, so really cool stuff in there. And the downside is it's all pretty much vaporware at this point. I mean, sure, I'm sure they're working on it and it's a thing in progress, but even the limited beta of this has not had almost any of that real core content in there based on what I'm reading. Okay, so let's go back. Let's rewind. So I think even during the event, he said, we're going to see this just in the next week or so, or limited rollout now he did that at the end of February. That was February the 26th. So the implications were going to be March, like the first week of March, and then have a limited rollout. Did that happen? I don't think it did. I haven't read anything about it happening or anything. I've read people talk about it like it had happened based on that he said it was going to happen, but I don't think it literally happened. But I could be wrong. maybe there's something out there. But if those people that were doing it, they were probably under heavy NDA and they couldn't disclose it. So, or it might have been just the company eating their own dog food. It was totally in-house beta testing in March, because I saw nothing about it. So now we move forward towards the end of March. Now here I'm in April, and I'm trying to do some Googling about this for your guys' benefit to find out information about this. And I gotta say, it's not easy, but I did see one or two articles pop up the first week of April from the Washington Post and The Verge, both published on the 31st. That instantly told me that something had happened on the 31st. So in other words, NDAs had been lifted, and these guys both had articles pretty much ready to publish. Now, what was weird now looking back, because, that was a couple weeks ago, is I haven't seen hardly anything else, which is very scary. But anyway, so both of those articles said basically, hey, this is Monday, March the 31st. There's a limited beta rollout of the A-Lady Plus here in America for people to start testing. Here's the features you'll have access to. Here's the features you will not have access to. I think they probably would have done better if they just said, we're going to do it on April 1st, because that was about how, like April Fools, that's about how sound this was based on what they're saying. Okay. So I went and read both of their articles. I would have to say since then, I haven't seen anything else. I mean, I found a blog entry on Substack. I found some distillations down on YouTube from guys, like not very professional podcaster, or not to be down on guys or YouTubers, but just basically parroting exactly. I mean, I didn't listen to all of them, but basically parroting what was from the Washington Post article. And to be fair, even The Verge, I don't know if there was any original reporting in that article, hardly at all, except them just basically quoting the Washington Post. So at the end of the day, I don't know if we actually have any genuine reporting on this matter except for what the Washington Post had. Now, interestingly enough, they had access to documents from internal documents from the company that were not to be published. So they do have some sort of secret, backdoor into what's happening at Amazon. They have some, off the record sources and the like, and they dug through the documents and talked about some of the features releases. But anywho, I haven't seen much since then. Now, what's really strange to me too is if the rollout happened on the 31st and there's this limited beta here in the United States, you would think I would find demos, right? John Doe over here in North Dakota, or Peggy Sue down in Texas, or whatever, different people doing little demos on Instagram, on YouTube, on wherever. I can't find anything really. Not on YouTube. Maybe I needed to dig into Instagram, but I can't find anybody do any demos. So I don't know if they're also being required to do an NDA, or maybe Amazon is only doing an internal beta test. I don't know. But either way, I don't have any. I wanted to bring you guys some literal guys demoing this in the field, for good and bad, and I can't find it. Now, I obviously am not. I don't have access to it either. Although from day one, I mean literally day one, the guy is up on the stage saying it. I'm getting on the waiting list. I literally been on the waiting list this whole time. I have no access. All right. So let's distill down what The Verge and the Washington Post said is not in it. Now, for this, I found the super simple way is I had Gemini, Google's AI bot, basically distill some of the news, and I think it did a pretty good job, pretty accurate here. So let me play this in from Gemini. What is not coming out or has not come out?
Ordering via Grubhub based on cravings. This feature, demonstrated as a way to order food based on what the user was in the mood for, was not available at the initial launch. Brainstorming gift ideas. The ability for Alexa Plus to help users come up with gift suggestions was also absent in the initial release. AI-generated storytime for kids. This feature, which promised personalized and imaginative stories for children, was not included in the soft rollout. Visually identifying family members. The capability for Alexa Plus to recognize individuals visually was not part of the initial feature set. Web version of Alexa Plus, accessing and using Alexa Plus through a web browser was not available at the initial launch. Robotic or error-prone answers. Early feedback indicated that while basic queries were often handled well, Alexa Plus sometimes provided responses that sounded unnatural or contained errors. Difficulty deleting uploaded documents. Users reported challenges in finding an easy way to remove documents they had uploaded for Alexa Plus to process within the Alexa app. It's worth noting that Amazon has acknowledged these omissions and issues, stating that the delayed features did not meet their quality standards and are expected to be rolled out in future updates. The feedback on the initial performance is also likely being used to refine the underlying AI models.
All right, so there we go is our little summary about what we are not seeing. Now, I just want to boil down a few things in there. There was a weird point about recognizing people. I think I missed that part of the session, or it wasn't covered by the live blog I was monitoring, but I went back and read the articles and kind of got that sense that there was some sort of feature there. That feature was originally supposed to be rolled out on the 15, I think, the Echo Show 15, some sort of concept like that where you would walk by and the family members be recognized if it was programmed in, and their calendar would individually show up on the 15 that was supposed to be mounted to the wall. And there's still certain rudimentary visual recognition in some of the Echo shows, especially like the one that turns its head to follow you with the motor. But I do know that they were in the process of probably retooling that, and I think at the event they demonstrated in a different kind of way. Like, little 7-year-old Susie Q walks through and it says, "Hey, did you feed the dog today?" or something like that. Oh, that's somebody's pulling into my driveway. Maybe I'm getting a package. Anyway, you get to see that my home automation is a real thing, guys. All right, what was the other factor? Oh, towards the end. So it looks like the actual web portal concept may be limited in some sort of way, or not the full hard rollout they're going to eventually have. Like they even had a specific domain name they mentioned, I think, during the event. It might have been in that video clip too, alexa.com. So I don't think that's fully rolled out yet or has been out, but they did say that there is some mechanism so you can upload documents and things like that now. So that's interesting. Now, most interestingly enough, we're talking like, it feels like this is an alpha, not even a beta rollout, because like literally people are saying, we can upload documents, but then we can't delete the documents. So I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like, can't you find like a programmer's like 17 years old who could help you out with that a little bit on the dev end? I don't understand. Like, wouldn't that be like the core thing, like you upload it and the ability to delete it? So I would say if any of y'all are getting invited to the beta program, just don't assume that you can delete the document, like, send up a trial balloons, send up something that's innocuous that doesn't have private information or something you're really ultimately worried about it if you're just going to be goofing around. If you do get invited to this beta limited rollout. Okay, so like I said, I think those are the big things. Some of the secret documents that the Washington Post had access to, off-the-record materials, talked about maybe a 2-month rollout till ultimately all the features that were kind of announced on February 26th were integrated. And then later, after that period of time, there'd be the larger rollout. That's internal documents. There's no public thing on that. I did look for a public announcement. The Verge did get a quote from somebody. They actually did reporting. Oh my God. From somebody from Amazon called Schmidt, I think, or Schmidt, and basically confirming that the beta had started on March 31st, a limited alpha beta rollout to very select customers who had the right Amazon Echo shows that met the requirements. You might recall, that's back in the previous episodes, episode 340 and 341, where we talk about some of the limited hardware they were going to first roll this out on, and some hardware that would most likely never be supported. Although it looks like they're going to go back and support a lot of the recent stuff. So that was the only like official quote I saw from Amazon in, I think, either of the articles. And The Verge's article is basically 90% quoting what the Washington Post said, except for that one little blurb from an Amazon person. The Washington Post article, it gives me a vibe here, guys, and I just want to share this with you real quick. And that is I feel like we're dealing with a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me scenario here. And we may be also dealing with an interesting implementation or problem with the 80-20 rule. So, one, Amazon was supposed to be rolling this stuff out in the fall. Last year. Didn't happen. Didn't even acknowledge it, really. Like, could you at least said something, like we're working on it, we're retooling it or something. Then Panos Panay, who is an interesting potential character from Microsoft, not always well regarded by some, is now over the devices division, and he was in that video we just saw a while back. Now, he announced we're going to have this event, the one we had on February 26th, like a month in advance or so. I don't know, it was several weeks in advance. There were rumors from other I believe, media outlets that were talking to people off the record that apparently maybe he didn't clear that with the leadership team, or maybe, and there was a possibility that the thing was so unbaked, so concerning, that they might actually cancel the event. Panos would have not done anything. And then, ultimately, when Panos did have it up in New York, it was a closed session with nobody actually not streaming it. Never have released the full video, I don't believe, of the whole thing. And you can read some of the quotes from the reporters that were in the room and said, yeah, the thing was screwing up now and again when he'd be yelling at it to do something. So, I feel like this is taking a lot longer than any of us anticipated, and it's mapping exactly to what we're seeing in other fields, like with Apple's AI. So much so that they've blundered so badly that they pretty much have a new head over the entire program. The other guy was pretty much, I think, given his walking papers or given the opportunity to make some sort of graceful exit, and so much so that there's federal agencies, including the Better Business Bureau this week, who's pretty much said you might need to change some of the language on your website because this thing that you are claiming is supposed to be there is confusing your customers. It's not really a thing, that you've actually done. So everybody's behind, and that gets down to the 80-20 rule. I feel like the AI, once you hook it into a voice assistant, we're seeing a lot of anecdotal evidence that you get 80% there. Like, it does 80% of the stuff fantastic. 8 out of 10 times. It's amazing. Maybe even 9 out of 10 times. It's doing amazing work. But it's that last 20% where it says racist stuff. It says sexist stuff. It tells somebody how to build a bomb. It says NSFW content with children, or it completely hallucinates something that's imaginary. It's that stuff that I think they're really wrestling with and having trouble with. And the Claude AI was supposed to help with that, it being potentially part of the back end with this, but I don't know. I just feel like it's really dragging out here. We're seeing really primitive alpha stuff that we're hearing here. And more concerning to that, to me, is, I mean, they did have the event on the 26th, and then he's like, oh yeah, and you guys are we're going to have a beta in March. The entire month of March goes by. No evidence that there's any beta until March 31st. Yeah, we're going to have a beta. It comes out in the Washington Post, who already had secret documents that looks like they were going to go to press with. And then, we talked to Amazon to get, we're rolling out today. Today is the day, and The Verge is going to get comments from Amazon and puts a little blurb in from Schmidt. So I don't know. It just seems really weird the way all this is happening. But anyway. I hope you guys find that educational. And if I can find a demo of this or any other kind of information, or you guys hear of anything, please feel free to reach out with me. This is definitely interesting. I think it has a lot of potential. There is a lot of cool information. And I did find an interesting demo with the audio stuff that Panos Panay did. So maybe I'll share that with you at some point in the future. But you can look it up on Instagram. But anyway, That's a long way to say it's terribly exciting. I want it to come now, but it seems like there's a long road to hoe to get there, and it may not be coming quite as quick as we thought. All right, the plus side is it's A Lady Plus. The plus side is, though, is it going to be free for Amazon Prime users, so it's not like it's going to be money out of my pocket. So anyhow, until next time, it's time to turn the ears of your Echo on. If you did shut them off today, start practicing some of the many things that you've learned. I would love to hear your feedback if you have thoughts or suggestions, or maybe you're in the limited alpha beta. You're one of those guys. We'd love to hear your feedback. You can reach out to us at ecotipspodcast at CERT.com. But until next time, we thank you for listening.